Have you ever wondered what your dog is thinking when you put on your favorite album? We often assume they are simply passive listeners, existing within our world of sound. But what if I told you that your dog might be hearing a completely different song? Dogs can be sensitive to the pitch of musical notes, a skill once thought to be reserved for humans and a few other species. This isn't just about hearing a noise, it's about the potential to discern melody, to recognize a pattern in the chaos of sound. It opens up a fascinating possibility that the music filling our homes is not just background noise for our dogs, but an experience all its own, rich with details we cannot even begin to perceive. This idea invites us to step outside our own sensory bubble and try to imagine the world from a dog's perspective, or rather from a dog's auditory point of view. Their world is not painted in the same colors of sound as ours. The rustle of a leaf outside might be a thunderous crash, while the high-pitched whine of a distant electronic device, completely silent to us, could be a persistent and annoying hum. When we introduce music into this already complex sonic landscape, we are adding layers of organized sound that they interpret through an entirely different biological filter. Understanding this difference is the first step toward truly appreciating how our canine companions navigate the symphony of daily life that we so often take for granted. Consider the simple act of playing a piano. To us, it's a series of distinct, pleasing notes forming a melody. To a dog, it might be something more. They may hear the fundamental note, but also the ultrasonic overtones that our ears are physically incapable of registering. These are the ghost notes, the secret frequencies that ride along with the sounds we can hear. This means that a simple C major chord could be, for a dog, a far more complex and layered auditory event. The music we share with them is, in a very real sense, a different piece of music altogether, one that is uniquely theirs and forever hidden from our own human experience. Therefore, the question is not simply whether dogs like music, but what music they are actually hearing. Are they perceiving the emotional intent we pour into our playlists, or are they responding to something more fundamental? The mathematical patterns of the frequencies, the rhythm of the beat, the texture of the sounds themselves. Before we can curate the perfect calming playlist for our anxious pup, we must first try to understand the very mechanics of their hearing. We must become students of their sensory world, putting aside our human assumptions and listening as best we can through the ears of a dog. It is a journey into an unseen, unheard dimension of their existence. The fundamental difference between how we and our dogs experience the world of sound begins with the basic architecture of the ear. A dog's hearing is a precision instrument honed by evolution for survival. They possess an incredible ability to hear a much wider range of frequencies than we do. While a healthy young human can typically hear sounds between 20 Hz and 20,000 Hz, the average dog can hear sounds up to 45,000 Hz. Some breeds can even perceive frequencies as high as 65,000 Hz. This is the realm of the ultrasonic, a world of high-pitched whistles, squeaks, and hums that is completely silent to us. It's the world of rodent chatter and the subtle electronic whine of our appliances. This superior range means that what we perceive as a complete musical piece is, to a dog, potentially full of gaps or full of additional high-frequency information. Think of a song on the radio. We hear the singer's voice, the guitar, the bass, and the drums. A dog hears all of that, but they might also hear the high-frequency harmonics produced by the cymbal crashes, or a subtle, high-pitched artifact from the recording process that our ears simply miss. This ultrasonic information adds a different texture and complexity to their listening experience. A song that sounds smooth and melodic to us might be punctuated by sharp, high-pitched sounds for our dog, altering the entire character of the music. Furthermore, dogs have an exquisite ability to pinpoint the source of a sound, thanks to the 18 or more muscles that control the movement of their pinnae, or outer ears. They can tilt, rotate, and pivot each ear independently, like a pair of furry radar dishes scanning the environment for auditory information. This allows them to locate the origin of a sound with remarkable speed and accuracy, a skill vital for a predator tracking prey, or for an ancestor listening for danger. When music is playing from a speaker, a dog isn't just passively receiving the sound. They are actively analyzing its source, their ears subtly twitching to triangulate its position in the room. This anatomical advantage also changes the nature of listening. For us, music often washes over us, an ambient feature of our environment. For a dog, every sound has a location and a potential meaning. A sudden shift in a song's instrumentation might cause their ears to swivel, trying to place this new sound in the physical space. This is not a sign of distraction, but of deep engagement with their auditory world. They are not just hearing the music, they are mapping it. They are processing it as a series of spatial events, not just a temporal one, adding a dimension to musical appreciation that we can only begin to imagine. For a long time, the question of whether dogs truly appreciate music was left to anecdote and owner observation. We saw our dogs relax to a certain station or get agitated by another. Was this a genuine response to the music itself? Scientific inquiry has begun to peel back the layers of this mystery, moving beyond simple observation and into controlled study. Researchers have started to look at physiological indicators of a dog's emotional state, heart rate, cortisol levels, and observable behaviors like barking, resting, pacing. This lets us measure how different types of sound affect them, showing what music does to a dog's body and mind. One foundational idea is psychoacoustics, how humans perceive sound. Researchers borrow from it to guess how dogs process music. In humans, slow tempos and simple melodies tend to calm. Fast tempos and complex, dissonant sounds can agitate. Dogs may react similarly, not because they understand a minor key, but because nervous systems respond to sound properties. A slow, steady rhythm can mimic a resting heart rate and trigger relaxation. Dr. Deborah Wells at Queen's University Belfast pioneered these experiments. She exposed shelter dogs to different genres and carefully recorded their behavior. Classical music led dogs to rest more and bark or stand less. Heavy metal produced increased agitation and nervous signs. This was early empirical evidence that music type matters. Dogs showed distinct physiological and behavioral responses. A fascinating study conducted by the Scottish SPCA and the University of Glasgow expanded on earlier research by testing a wider variety of genres. Classical, pop, Motown, soft rock, reggae. While classical music did have a calming effect, soft rock and reggae were even more effective, reducing stress, reducing barking, reducing heart rates. This surprising result suggests that the soothing qualities are not limited to one genre. Instead, it seems that music with a certain tempo and rhythmic pattern, often found in reggae and soft rock, is particularly well suited to the canine nervous system. The concept of species-specific music has also gained traction. Composer and researcher Charles Snowdon has explored this idea with other animals, creating music that utilizes pitches, tones, tempos. For cats, he composed music with frequencies similar to purring and the chirps of birds. Applied to dogs, this theory suggests that the most pleasurable music for them might not be human music at all. It would be music composed specifically for their hearing range and vocalizations, perhaps incorporating sounds that mimic playful yips or the comforting low rumble of a mother dog's growl. This is the next frontier in understanding canine auditory enrichment. Ultimately, the research shows that while there are general trends, there is no one-size-fits-all answer. The most important finding is that dogs do show preferences. They are not indifferent listeners. Some dogs in the studies showed clear positive responses to one genre but were completely unmoved by another. This indicates a level of discernment. As an owner, this means your dog is an individual with a unique sensory profile. The journey is not about finding the one correct genre for all dogs, but about becoming a careful observer of your own dog, watching for the subtle cues that tell you what sounds bring them comfort and which ones cause them unease. The finding that reggae music has a particularly calming effect on dogs was one of the most unexpected and delightful discoveries to come out of recent studies. When the Scottish SPCA study revealed that reggae and soft rock were champions of canine calm, it sent a ripple of curiosity through the pet-loving community. Why these genres? The answer likely lies in the rhythm. After all this exploration into genres, tempos, and frequencies, after crafting the perfect reggae-infused playlist and observing our dogs for the slightest ear twitch, it is easy to get lost in the science. We search for the ideal external sound to bring our dogs peace. But what if the most powerful, most calming, and most meaningful sound for your dog is not a piece of music at all? What if the secret sound your dog has been waiting to hear, the one that regulates their heart rate and soothes their soul more than any melody, is simply the sound of your own voice? Think about it from their perspective. Your voice is a constant thread woven through the fabric of their entire life. It is the sound that signals food, walk, play, and affection. It is the sound that calls them back when they are lost and comforts them when they are scared. The specific pitch, cadence, and tone of your voice are as unique and recognizable to your dog as your face. Scientific studies have shown that dogs' brains respond differently to their owner's voice compared to the voice of a stranger, activating the reward centers of their brain. Your voice is quite literally music to their ears. So, while a playlist of soft rock can be a wonderful tool to keep them calm when you're away, don't underestimate the profound power of speaking to your dog in a low, gentle, and rhythmic tone. This is something I call dog-directed speech. It's not about the words you are saying, you could be reading a phone book or a grocery list, but about the delivery. A slow, soft, melodic voice can be more soothing than any song because it is imbued with the ultimate context, your presence and your affection. This is the species-specific music that is tailored perfectly for your dog of one. Here then is the most surprising and perhaps most important piece of advice for any pet lover. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.